there's certain moments in my career that I remember, but they weren't necessarily game winning. Like one time in a tournament, I was shooting a ball, the 8 ball of all things, and a spider came down and dropped on the a black spider dropped on the 8 ball as I was getting ready to shoot, and I was like, are you serious? I mean, it was just very, very, and meanwhile, I don't want to hit it because I'm going to crush the spider, but the spider wouldn't go. You know, I'm like, go. Spiders just don't care at all. They're not going to like suddenly scurry away. It just kind of sat there. And I'm at a tournament and I'm going, what do I do here? You know, you can't touch the ball. You can't, you know, if you touch a spider balls, you know, it was very uncomfortable. And there was another time when I was paying for $68,000 against Allison Fisher, and I do a shot, and the ball jumped up off the table, onto the rail, went like this, kept going, and just stopped at the pocket and dropped. It was very strange because we're like, can it come up off the table onto the rail? And then that happened another time, and it just stayed there. It didn't go back on the table, and it didn't go in the pocket. It was just, yeah. So there's odd things that have happened, but I can't say it's so memorable for me because it was great. The greatest tournament I ever won was the World Games in 2001, and I'd just come off of back surgery, and I got very little notice from our federation that our association that I was going to represent the United States in the first ever Olympic World Games. And so we'd been fighting for years for it to become an Olympic sport and for it to be recognized. And in fact, when they went to speak to with the USOC in front of the International Olympic Committee to explain why do we think this is a sport, like not a game, prove it to us. Explain to us what makes you more than a game of chess. You know, I mean, what makes you think this? And I was actually, there were 2 officials and me. They had the Black Widow come and speak to them. And we got accepted as an Olympic sport, but it still took about 3 years before they put us in competition. And we thought it would be just going to demonstration sport, exhibition games. And then we found out, no, we're going to compete for a medal. We're going to compete in the World Games. So, but I only had a few months, and I was just freaked out. And my dad has been saying for years, you need to win a gold medal for Korea. You know, come on, when are you going to be in the Olympics? Because I told him it was in the, I said, Dad, it's not, you know, I'm American, it's going to be a U.S. gold medal. Oh, the Koreans know, you know? I'm like, Dad, we're American, you know, it doesn't matter, the Koreans know, the Koreans know. Okay, Dad. But anyway, that was a phone call that I made to my dad, you know, because we're not real tight. We love each other, we respect each other, but he's just one of those guys that woke up in the morning, works hard, comes home, watches TV, goes to bed. You know, he's just very methodical person that just does things very, you know, a certain way. But it was the one thing, hey, when are you going to be in the Olympics? When are you going to win? You know, and then the fact that I went finally and then won it, it just stuck out. And so the last 9 ball when I knew, but it was not a fantastic shot. It was just almost straight in 9 ball. It wasn't like some glory shot that you had to come with that was really tough. I'd run a nice table and ended up straight in front of the 9. And I couldn't breathe, made it, and I just remember this feeling. And then eventually getting up on that stage. And I've won a lot of tournaments, but it was always in a pool billiard atmosphere. This was incredible. There were teams, a sea of international teams in all of their outfits, you know, with their flags of all different sports. And they were doing something, and I don't know why I wasn't prepared for it, but they had us on the podium, and we're just waiting, and then suddenly, you know, the American national anthem came up, and I was just, and we're in Japan, Akita, Japan, and I noticed everyone stopped, they're looking at me, and everyone did this. Of all the countries did that and recognized as the U.S. flag was raised above the 2nd and 3rd place flags. And it was just, and you're listening to the anthem and everyone just cheering and, you know, and I was just, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry, I'm not gonna cry, ah! I'm not gonna cry, ah! It was terrible. I was like, what it was, don't cry, this is a great moment, enjoy, ah! So it was incredible. I'll remember that forever.